Good morning, everyone. I'm saying good morning because it's 12:41 in the evening, and I know most of you aren't awake, but I have to do this. If you're watching this, this means that I got roped into doing a practice promo video so that you guys have a general guideline on what you can do when I interview you later. Have fun and be prepared. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ivan. I'm one of the older members of DC. I'm also one of the organizers of Nexpo 2016, March 19 to 20. I'll see you there. Yeah. And also, I've sold my soul to developing the cosplay community in the Magete City. So that means that I'll do anything for you guys, even if that means I die inside. The reason why I'm doing this, like I said, is it's a practice run, so you guys generally get an idea of what's going to happen when I interview you guys for the promotional video. I'm going to be asking a couple of questions. It might get a little bit personal, but that's totally up to your discretion. If you guys want to get personal about your cosplay lives or whatever, it's totally fine. I'm not gonna like stress you or like push it onto you or anything. It's really up to your discretion. Do whatever you need to do and whatever you think is a valid description of the answer when I ask you the question. A lot of people in DC already know me, but for those of you who don't, like I said earlier, my name is Ivan. You can call me by my YouTube handle if ever I become popular. I don't think I will. If ever I do become popular, you can just call me 404. And of course, if you've met me in person and if you've seen me at the meetings, most of the newbies and the elders and basically everyone just refers to me as the bad influence. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and ask some questions. It's going to be very simple, very chilled out, and the whole entire point of the video or the interview is to be relaxed, chilled out, and just regale on your past experiences. So let's go with the first one. One of the first questions I'll be asking is, what was your first cosplay experience, or who was your first cosplay? And for me, that was Toby, or as he was known back then in Naruto. Toby, one of the members of the Akatsuki, the guy with the mask, and I cosplayed him in 2009, actually, of either 2008 or 2009, of Otaku Fest in UP Cebu. I'm not going to talk about what I did in America before I came to study in Silliman, but that's a completely different thing. But I cosplayed at Otaku Fest, UP Cebu, 2009, and it was amazing. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life. It was totally rad. I cosplayed as you guys already know. I already cosplayed as Toby. I had the whole mask thing going on. And I had the cloak. Like knitted, and it was like personified. It was like personally tailored, and it was like something I really wanted to go through. It was like a whole experience that I'll never forget. And one of the things that I'll never forget was when I first came there, and I was so warmly accepted. I was like nervous beyond all comparison, because that's what most people feel like when you go to a convention and you cosplay the first time, and you don't know how it's gonna turn out. But fortunately for me, it turned out really well. I was warmly accepted by the community, and I got to meet all these friends and all these friends that have become so close with ever since then. We've known each other for 7 years, 8 years because of that event, and I'm so happy to have met them and to have further established my connection with them. They're so rad. Now, one of the things I remembered in my first cosplay experience was when someone first asked me to have a picture with them. And normally for veteran cosplayers or for people that have been used to the game, getting asked to take a picture with them while you're cosplaying, it might not seem like much, but for me, it was completely different. It was a moment where I saw something light up in their eyes, and they weren't like photographers, because I wasn't clearly that good yet. They weren't photographers. They were just normal guys. They were just a group of girls and guys that were like geeks in college, and they saw me and they had a connection, and not like a personal connection or whatever, but they saw this character and they were like, oh darn it, I gotta get a picture of that guy. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And when they took a picture, and when they looked at me when I had my mask on, I got to look close, and I got to see something in their eyes, and it lit something in them. There was a spark, a flare, a guiding light in the darkness that is their eyes, and I realized that it was excitement, it was enthusiasm. It was something else that you couldn't experience on a daily basis, but it felt so good that you wanted more of it. And I'm like, that's awesome. I gave this person this emotion, and I was so happy about it. And that was what hooked me. It hooked me completely in the cosplay. I was so into it. Because for a brief moment, I got to blur the lines between reality and the hobby that we like, whether it's an anime, whether it's a game. And I got to make this person real, at least for a little bit, and it brought joy to people of that fandom. It brought joy, and it brought light, and it brought something different in their normal dreary lives. And I was that difference. At least that's what I felt. And for me, that's what hooked me. I did it because it made other people that love the same thing I did happy. And it's that feeling where you find a connection and a bond that is established, even if it's just for a brief moment. It was established because you two had something in common and you've never even met before. Like, that's crazy. How long I've been cosplaying? Well, like I said, my first cosplay experience in the Philippines was actually, like I said, UP Cebu of the year 2009. And I went there with some friends that I met here in Dumaguete, and it was a life-changing experience because it got me hooked into one of the funnest and most expensive hobbies ever made. But hey, if you love it, you got to keep on going for it, right? I mean, that's why I love it. And one of the more important cosplay questions I'll be asking you is the last one, which is, what is cosplay to you and why do you cosplay? If you ask me that, I cosplay, like I said, because at least for a brief moment I get to establish a connection with a complete stranger. I go to conventions and people see me cosplay, whether it's Bloodborne or Monster Hunter, or on the rare occasion that I like to do an anime cosplay. You get to go there and people get to look at you, and it attracts attention, but it also gives you a feeling that you're reaching out. Like, there are a lot of people that they hear or they listen to cosplay and like, oh, that's like what weird people do. But no, it's not like a weird thing. It's actually really awesome, because it's a thing you get to do when you go to a convention and there are tons of people just like crowding around and enjoying it for the first time, and you get to do the step up. It's the next level of enjoyment by bringing joy to other people. It's like you don't get to. It's like everyone around you is like level 1, and if you cosplay, you get to be like the second level, and everyone's like, oh wow, that's really cool. Or it's like everyone is like doing something, and then you get to see something different, and it's something so different that it brings joy. It brings a whole bundle of feelings. Whether you hate that character, whether you love that character, whether you love that fandom, whether you hate that anime or that game, whether you love it, it stirs emotion. It makes people feel things. To me, when you ask me about cosplay, like what is cosplay? Cosplay is a way for people to reach out. It's a way for strangers who have never met each other at all to establish bonds that can be remembered for months and years later. I've gone to conventions where I've met and I've cosplayed, and people just want to know me just because it's a thing that's different, or they want to know me because that's a fan. That's like they're fans of what, or they're a fan of my character. They're a fan of my character, or they're a fan of that fandom, of that anime, that game, or that movie, or that book. They're a fan of it, and it's rad. It's just rad. So what is cosplay to me? Cosplay to me is reaching out. Cosplay to me is going out there and being a different person. Cosplay to me is being the one that decided to take it a step further and not be afraid. It's not about judging. It's not about how good the cosplay is or how bad the cosplay is. It's about knowing that at the end of the day, when you cosplay a character and you know personally that you did it justice, that's fine. That's all you need. That self-evaluation that you've done something and you don't regret it. It's a life, it's a hobby that brings adventure in the smallest sense and gives us happiness both to other cosplayers and to people who are just going to the convention. I will always remember the happiness that I brought when I first cosplayed. It was like being Santa Claus. Everyone, at least everyone that's part of that fandom, looks at you and they're like, oh my god, that person's here, there's someone cosplaying that character. Let's take a picture, or let's ask some questions, or let's see how your mental process, what did you do? It's something that you don't ever forget because it's addicting at first. And a lot of people have different reasons. My reason is like I just told you, but a lot of people have different reasons. And whatever you do, if you believe it's right, hold on to it. Cosplay is happiness. Cosplay is great. Cosplay is love. It's love.